Welcome back to another episode of College Baseball Saturday, brought to you by the Head First Podcast. My name's JP Sponseller, joined by Cole Harding. No Corey Klingham back today. Unsure of what was on his docket schedule for this morning. I know he was in attendance. I believe he was in attendance for maybe all 12 innings of or 11 and a half that we experienced at UC Baseball Stadium last night. So I don't know. I don't know when they cut off the alcohol sales in the seventh or whether they kept him rolling. He could have gotten a little banged up at that game last night. So no Corey this morning, but we're here to bring you everything you need for college baseball Saturday. We will start this thing off with the Lounge Dog lineup. The boys are back in Starkville. Huge series against LSU. I believe it was their spring Super Bulldog weekend. So they had like baseball games, softball
everyone's
game.
At home, right? Is that how that works?
I believe they try to line it up with the spring game, or at least some sort of something for spring football. I know there's usually a ton of people that flock into Starkville for that weekend. I was really I guess surprised by this new item. I've never seen this on a smoker before. Here's what Lounge Dog had going. He had some wings, some sausage, a deep dish pizza on there, which I don't know if Sean Springer is with us, joining us this morning, but he has requested for me to make a pizza in the Traeger. I didn't know if it was possible, but after seeing this, I think I'm going to have to test it out and make that thing happen for Sean and for myself as well. I'm a huge pizza guy, but I don't.
That looks crazy. I wonder how long that takes to cook.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm probably going to do some research on it at some point today. I don't really know how that works. I don't know if it's a pre-made pizza. I don't know if that was from scratch. I'm going to have to do some digging on that one and see what's going on. Definitely has the wheels turning in my head for sure.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Before we move off the Lounge Dog lineup, we're not covering the Mississippi State LSU series, but that game went into 10 or 11 innings last night, ending in a walk-off for the Dogs. We will show that right here.
And smokes that one left field, and let's go to the house. Big Lou walks it off. The 8th home run of the season for Kevin Maluski. Puts an end to this one. And State walks.
Couple things to unpack there. Yeah, first thing that stuck out to me, whoever decided to split the ISO, I feel like that's an ISO sign and like DJ Moore's first down silly. Kevin Maluski, shout out to him for splitting the ISO before he stepped on home plate. Elite. Another thing, obviously, two historic programs in college baseball. There's always a ton of juice around that series, regardless of how either team is playing. It was pouring rain in Starkville for a good couple innings, and I think in the 10th we still had there was probably around 8,000 people still there. I think full house is 13, 14, but incredible.
They probably had the most fans stick around because I think it rained like throughout the whole country last night. I feel like there was a ton of cling. I feel like there's a ton of delays or like games that are getting held over to finish up today, or just some double headers today.
Yeah, we got Kling here just feeding our comments, but doesn't want to join the show and give his input. Whatever, bro.
I mean, we're going to have to figure this one out. Honestly, I think he should just be disqualified, and he has to take at least 2 losses on the board this week so I can maybe get my lead back.
Maybe. I'm glad he did point this out. I kind of forget. I know it looks terrible. I personally hate
it. Looks that bad.
I don't like having a mustache, but yesterday I was going for my Friday trim, tried to get beamed up, ready to go for the weekend, and the guard was not totally on my trimmer, I guess, and went to go trim the chin piece and just took a full chunk out of like the middle of it. So at that point, I didn't have much of an option. At first, I audibled to a bit of a Fu Manchu. Fiance absolutely hated it. She said that probably wasn't an option for me. So decided to just rock the stash until that chin piece grows back out a little bit.
It won't take long. You'll be good. Give it a week.
Yeah. I'll be down for about a week. I was more worried about it affecting Nate Taylor's start, especially after the first two batters of the game, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah.
First three.
Obviously did not affect him too much. He was able to settle in and give us a great outing. Let's talk about who's hot and who's not. To be honest with you, outside of a couple of these teams that have kind of been hot all year, this week, we're kind of just in the thick of it where I don't know, a lot of teams are kind of just having up and down weekends. Like for mine, I'd like to shout out the Tennessee Volunteers, even though like I think they lost their series last weekend, but 2 weeks ago they go to Mississippi State, sweep them at the Dude, and then this past weekend they lose game 1 against Alabama and come back and win back-to-back games to win the series. Our guest picker coming on, Griffin Merritt, who's an alumni of Cincinnati and Tennessee. So we're going to have him kind of give his insight on the Vols. I know he played for Elander as an assistant, and obviously there's been some turmoil on how fans feel about him and their performance this year. So I'd like to give him the stage to kind of touch on that right when he joins. Do you have anyone that you're liking that's really hot right now?
I got a team they're not scorching hot by any means, but this time of year, they're a team that always seems to play their best baseball. The ECU Pirates. They're not scorching right now. They are. They did take a series last weekend against Wichita State. That was at home, and now they won game 1 at home last night, 11-1 against South Florida. Rolled in their midweek. They're just a team that, like, I know we all know them very well, or at least me and you do from playing them, I don't know, probably 10 times while you were at UC.
Yeah.
I think I played them like 15 or 16 times. They're a team that historically they've done, like, they play baseball the right way. They do the small things very well. And it seems like once like April into May, they always are just like on a little bit of a heater. They start locking it in even more, and they just execute everything super well. So I'm a little bit excited. I do have them in my Omaha 8. So when we chose those preseason, we'll see how that pans out. It's not looking like their record is not anything super impressive. They're 26-16, but like I said, during this time of the year, it seems like they always seem to turn it up a notch. So.
Yeah, always. I mean, especially you talked about it when we were both in the American. They were our team that we played twice a year. And so oftentimes we would catch them at the beginning of the conference season and then towards the end. And I'm sure you would agree, it was always, especially when we would get them at home at the beginning and then go down there at the end. It's like
just got to take
different ball teams. Yeah.
We got to ball clubs. Beat this team. We're beating them in the beginning of the year when we see them.
Yes. One, they're a different ball team on the road opposed to home, and then, like you said, they're a totally different team in March compared to May. And even last year, when I kind of was totally out on them, I just didn't feel like they were a very talented team. They still just cranked that thing up in May, and then they knocked Florida out of the regional and gave Coastal a run for their money. So, no, I think that's a great call. I think you can kind of count on the Pirates to start heating up. They're back towards the top of the AAC. They will make a run, and wouldn't be shocked at all if they find themselves in a regional and with the capability of making some noise, especially with Ethan Norby going on Fridays, who's still very healthy and throwing really well right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have anyone for who's not? I feel like I don't particularly have a team that's scuffling right now.
Seriously. Not necessarily scuffling. I just feel like there's not a ton of teams that are like just straight rolling right now.
Right.
It's kind of like, oh, you have a couple good wins, then maybe you have a bad loss or maybe a couple bad losses, and then you back it up with another couple good wins. I feel like that's kind of similar, just how it is. I mean, we've talked about it even throughout like SEC play, ACC play. It's just like it seems whenever someone has a few bad losses, they just back it up with a couple good wins, like they're able to get back on track. So I don't necessarily have anyone that's hasn't figured it out the last couple weeks.
I'll throw out I know I've already mentioned Louisville and Clemson for the past few weeks. They play each other this weekend, so that's an interesting one you could tune into.
And then not hot.
Yeah, battle of who's not. I will be attending the Texas Longhorns against the Vanderbilt Commodores tonight. I do feel like Vanderbilt is one of those teams that has just had a very up and down year. So you could kind of, and especially after getting the number 1 overall seed last year, I feel like maybe people were expecting them to have a bit better season than they're having right now. So I know it was 11-0 last night, and they ended up making it 11-4. So I'll be willing. I'm willing to see if the Vandy boys kind of show up with some fire under their ass tonight, looking to scratch out a win. Should be a good one. SEC Network game, 7 p.m. So I'm pretty fired up to be in the park for that one. But let's go over to midweek madness. Harding, hit us with some of the upsets that happened in this midweek.
Yeah. So Tuesday night I had Maine beating Boston College 6-4. That was a ranked team that went down, and then our boys down in Conway, Coastal, they dropped a game to UNC Wilmington, who I know you played quite a bit, right? UNC Wilmington was in the
they're in the CAA. They're every year. I don't know if I want to say the front runner, but they are expected to be in the top 2 to 3 of that conference every year. And they were always just like, you played them even.
Yeah,
you guys went down for a series. Like Landon Root, guy who started against you guys game 1, it's in the bigs for the Giants now. Like they always got dudes. That's a solid squad down there.
Yeah. And then West Virginia was hosting Pitt, I believe, or this might have been a neutral site game.
No, it was at West Virginia.
At West Virginia. Pitt beat them 23-1.
Smoked.
Pitt just absolutely put it on them.
The backyard brawl.
I know, yeah. I mentioned it, how I wasn't necessarily super happy with that, just maybe pissing West Virginia off a little bit right before they came to Griffin. But I don't know. The Bearcats will have to figure it out anyway. And then Jacksonville beat Florida 7-5. And then I didn't necessarily, this isn't a huge upset, but the Georgia Tech Georgia game, I believe that was played in the Braves Stadium.
At Truist, yep.
Yeah. Georgia Tech run-ruled Georgia. So I just thought that was a good score to throw in there. Not necessarily an upset. Both those teams are really, really good and will be in the postseason. And then Wednesday, the only one I saw on there was New Mexico State beating Arizona State 10-9.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about all I had. But no, I did see there's an interesting stat about that Georgia Tech game. I think it was like it might have set a record for most balls in play over 100 miles per hour.
Jeez.
I think it was up like it was either at 20 or over 20, like real close to that 20 mark.
Yeah, that's not a huge shock. Those are 2 nails lineups in a midweek. We know how that can go. So, anyone that showed up to Truist definitely got their money's worth.
Yeah. It was just a laser show.
All right. Well, now it's time to introduce our guest picker for this week. We got Bearcats alumni, Tennessee Volunteer alumni, our friend, teammate, Merritt Mash, Griffin Merritt. Welcome
Howdy,
to the
guys.
show, man.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're great.
I'm standing on the side of the street currently in Columbus. I'm at breakfast. This is one of my favorite bars right here. I guess it caught on fire last week, so it looks like I'm in a third world country currently. But yeah, on the side of the road, my girlfriend's sister, shout out Corinne, got engaged last night. So we're at a little celebratory breakfast, going to do some stuff today. There's also a marathon going on behind me, and I just ordered double stacked chocolate chip pancakes, extra bacon. Going to watch them run. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
You have a mimosa rolling this morning, or just some coffee?
Well, I was hoping to get a mimosa rolling, but Camille, my girlfriend, drugged me to a Pilates class at 7:45. Now that went exactly as how you would expect it to go, like shit. So I'm trying to recover a little bit. I'm shaking. Not really my workout forte, but had to kind of kiss some butt a little bit with the family in town, I guess. Yeah. So
interesting you say that, because I just attended my first Pilates class this past Monday, and definitely humbles you.
It does. Definitely, like, dude, I don't know how to turn my camera around on this app, but like I got these damn like sticky socks on, and there's a lot of. Am I allowed to cuss in this podcast, or is that a no?
Yeah. Let it rip.
Fair game.
A lot of bullshit, man. I was falling off the fucking reformer and a lot going on. But, you know,
did they give you the cold? Was it hot Pilates?
No. Thank God. It was like a reformer thing. I've done the hot one before back home in Cincy, and that's real tough. That's tough.
Yeah, the hot. I was not prepared for the hot component of it. Walked in and it was like 85 degrees, I think, in that room.
Yeah. Felt like I was playing at the University of Houston in May in the Bearcats' old wool jerseys, standing on the black turf. That's exact. And then they're telling you to start doing planks and stuff. I'm like, yeah, no.
I know. It sounds like I don't know if you guys saw that Bob Does Sports video of him trying out hot yoga like a week ago, but it sounds like both of you guys had very similar experiences to him.
Yeah,
like,
you know, I think there's a stigma around it, like, oh, I'm a bigger man than this. Like, this is for girls. You go do it. Like, go do it. Like, I challenge, get out of the bed and go do it. Shit is hard. Like, it is hard. It's not something I would do every day, but like, it is difficult. Like, that stuff is hard, way harder than. You know, you train like in baseball, you're training your whole life to move heavy stuff fast and power. And then you go there and it's like, hey, you're going to do one push-up over a minute.
Yeah.
Like you have 1 minute to do one push-up and you better make that push-up last a minute. It's hard. And by the way, it's 155 fucking degrees in there.
Yeah.
So
no thanks. I'm out on that.
Well,
Griff, before we get into some of these matchups, I obviously planned on I would have liked to have you on where we could cover the Bearcats and the Vols. The Vols, they called an audible on us.
They wrapped up the series a little early.
But I know obviously there's been some frustration in that program, at least early on. I know you played for Coach Elander. Obviously, the boys are kind of starting to pick it up a little bit and look like the Tennessee Volunteers that we've watched the past few years. So I just kind of wanted to give you the stage to give your input on playing for Coach Elander and kind of, I don't know, your read on that season and kind of what's been going on in Knoxville this year.
Yeah, Elander was 100% the right choice for that hire. And it's so easy to – dude's been a head coach for 6 months. Like, it's so easy to look back and be like, oh yeah, we should have did it. We would be winning. Like, okay, I just looked before I got on here. They're 29-15. They're 10-11 in league play. Like, they're also doing that with a younger lineup of some inexperienced kids that are still learning. And like, let's also, you know, I would say overall, just like the bats are a little lighter. I mean, that lineup was carried for a long time by some big time bats, like first-round bats, multiple first-round bats, some, you know, transfers, like big-time hitters. And, like, these kids right now, they're more defensive. They're more, you know, defensive-minded. And they're like, it's a tough conference to hit in. So, like, they're kind of struggling to score some runs here and there. But, like, you know, I don't think it's because of any coaching, this and that. But when you're such a good program and you're storied over the past, you know, 10 years, it gets to the point where if you start losing games, you just point your finger at what changed. And it's like, oh, new coach, that's why we're losing. It's not. Like, and also, like, perspective, they're 15 games above 500 and pretty comfortably should make the NCAA tournament with a couple more league wins. So, you know.
Right, and like you said, like, we got a few weeks left here, and you're at just a game under 500 in the SEC.
Yeah, and the SEC
could be a lot worse.
In the SEC, the motto is win 15. You win 15,
Yeah.
you're in. Like, you win 15, you're a shoe-in for the NCAA tournament. You're probably not hosting at 15, but you're probably a 2 seed. Like, the year I was there, that was, I think we were 16 and 14, 2 seed in the Clemson regional. That was like, you're in. It doesn't matter. So the record's good enough. Their out-of-conference record's fine. They just need to win 5 of their next 9. So, and they have Oklahoma, Texas, and Kentucky. So not like that's an easier task said than done. I mean, those are 3 good teams, but, you know, you have the opportunity in front of you. A lot of teams at this point in the year could win out and they're still not getting it. So, you know, you're still playing for something, and you just hope that this week a good Alabama team losing the first night and coming back and winning 2 games yesterday, like decisively beating them, looking like the better team, swinging the bats, that's going to kind of be the point to propel you into the rest of the year. When I was there, we started league play 5-10.
Yeah,
5-10. I remember sitting in the locker room. It was, I think, me, Chase Burns, and our catcher Charlie Taylor. We looked at each other. We're like, we're not going to make the tournament. We were the preseason #1 team in the country. Like, we're not going to make the NCAA tournament. We're 5-10. We have to play LSU, Arkansas, and Florida at the time, which were 3 dogs. And Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Florida, and LSU. And Vandy came into Knoxville that week, and Friday night we were losing, and we actually ended up hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the whatever inning in that game with Burns throwing, and we came back in and we were like, okay, now we're 6-10. And then we beat their ass Saturday. Now we're 7-10, and then we beat their ass Sunday. Now we're 8-10, and then we ended up finishing up being 16-14. And, you know, sometimes you just need to get that little monkey off your back and win a big weekend series to kind of move you into a, you know, to the rest of your season. We go from sitting there 5-10, like, holy hell, like, we have to go 10-5 in our next 15 to make the NCAA tournament, to, hey, we're playing in Omaha in a semifinal game in that same season. So, you know,
I think you made a good point too. Like,
of those teams,
younger team, younger lineup, and obviously if you feel like you're struggling earlier, that pressure just builds and adds much more. I kind of felt like when they swept down there in Starkville, like, you could just see the vibe of the team after that weekend. Like, it was just a lot of pressure that kind of released from that entire.
I love those fans. Those fans are great, but there's an expectation of winning there, and when you're not winning, it gets a little heavy. Right, you're playing at $100 million stadium. Your fans are paying $250 to go into the game, and then you get beat by 10. Like, that's a little heavy, right? So I think that the college game is moving in such a good direction that people care more, people are investing more, but with that becomes a little more responsibility, right?
Yeah,
getting your shit kicked in on a Tuesday in front of 10 people is okay. Like, it's not as big of a deal, but losing on a Friday night when a family paid, you know, $1,000 to travel from Chattanooga for their kid's birthday to come in and watch this game, to sit in the nosebleeds, like, you have a little bit of a responsibility to play a good baseball game. And, you know, you kind of feel that in as a player, that you want to perform for your fans. And when you don't, you feel like you let them down a little bit. So, you know, I think them starting to get some bigger wins and playing better baseball at the end of the day will help. You know, the corner is going to get turned, and I do think there'll be a tournament team. And I think at the same time, you know, the school we all played at, Cincinnati, they're kind of on the, like, 5-year ago Tennessee path, right? They're starting to win games. People are starting to care. The vibe is more like they have nothing to lose. That's the best place to play in. Like, they're here. This is the first time they've been winning like this in a while, and they're doing all these things. You know, they're making NCAA tournaments. You know, they're beating good teams. They are a good team. They're ranked during the year. Like, that's all new and fun. But when you do that year after year after year after year, you win national championships, you win that league. Like, that becomes the expectation, and then that's more. It's harder to play to an expectation than it is to, like, you know, be the first team to do it, I'd say.
Right. No, that's why it's so fun to get behind the Bearcats in these series, just because it does feel like we got nothing to lose. We're at home,
it's awesome,
number 12
dude.
team in the country, and
no, it's awesome. I think what Coach Bischel's done at UC has been, fantastic, and I think that the vibe that the city's bringing and seeing them embrace that has been great. And for better or worse, I think when we played there, the basketball team and the football team were so good that that's what the fans kind of gravitated to. Now, unfortunately, they're both not the best, and you jump to the winning team, and that's the baseball team's benefiting from that.
Yeah, we're trying to. I feel like, a lot of our Cincinnati people have clung to the Cincinnati Reds for their baseball fix for the past 200 years or however
it's
many,
hard to shake that vibe. Yeah, somebody asked me the other day about like the SEC and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, part of the reason these schools are so good is there's no pro sport. Yeah, there's no like big pro sports in any SEC town. Yeah. Zero of them have an NFL or an MLB team, I believe. Like not even, I don't even think I'm pretty sure out of all, like that's it. Like if you want to go watch a baseball game and you live in East Tennessee, unless you go to like a minor league game, the best, highest level of baseball is going to be at UT. Or if you live in Mississippi, like same thing. So I think that that makes a difference too, for sure.
No doubt. All right, well, let's get into these matchups for today.
I'll take the Vols over Bama. They probably lose the first, win the second two.
That would have been a great poll.
First I would have took them anyways. I would have took them, but who we got?
First matchup, we got Georgia and Ole Miss. I believe, Harding, this is game 1 of this series. They're playing the doubleheader today, so I think the pitching matchup that was actually displayed is for game 2 because so I have these pitching matchups wrong. I believe Georgia, I don't know. We'll just go through a pick 'em. We got game 1, obviously, both aces on the mound. Georgia at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a team who has kind of flown under the radar a little bit. Georgia's been making a lot of noise. Big series there for both teams. Who do we got in this one between the Rebels and the Dogs?
I'm going to go ahead. Georgia's played really well on the road in conference this year. With this being the first game, they had a big loss that we mentioned on Tuesday to Georgia Tech against a little bit of a rival there. I think they're going to bounce back and win game 1 here, so I'll go with the Dogs.
Griff?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Are we picking like one game at a time here, or are we saying like
one?
Series
Just game 1. Game 1 today. Yeah.
Okay.
One game.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia too. Is Volcheko throwing? I'm guessing. So
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him. I watched him throw on TV last weekend against Arkansas, and that's a good arm. Georgia's lineup is just, man, those guys hit. So I'll take Georgia. I think Wes Johnson's done a really good job there, and I think they'll win today.
I'm going to side with you guys. I love to pick home teams, but this Georgia team has now been to Mississippi State. I think they went to Arkansas.
They were at Arkansas, yeah.
And now Ole Miss. I mean, at this point in the year, I just feel like they're very well prepared to play anywhere on the road in the SEC. Griff said Volchko has been lights out all year. I'm also going to go with the Dogs, especially after dropping that midweek. The in-state rivalry that probably hit a little close to home. I feel like those guys are going to be ready to go today, so I'm also going with the Dogs. Moving on to game 2, we got the Texas A&M Aggies taking on the Florida Gators. Florida won this series 1-0. Got a little chippy last night. Aiden King absolutely shoved for about 7 or 8 innings. We'll show one of his last strikeouts of the night from last night.
Strike 3 call. He punched him out. And His Royal Highness punctuates a huge outing.
You could see it got a little chippy. All three of us have played against the Gators, and we know how those guys can be sometimes, especially when they start letting their nuts hang a little bit. Won last night, a big game, winning the series 1-0. Texas A&M will be throwing Aiden Sims, who's 7-0 with a 3.4 ERA, and the Gators will be throwing Liam Peterson, who they have flip-flopped that Friday-Saturday role. He's 1-3 with a 3.42 ERA. Has pitched really well this year. Just seems like hasn't gotten a ton of help. I think this one is going to get chippy for the rest of the series. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Who are you guys rolling with in game 2?
Yeah, so it seems the Gators always, every weekend, I feel like they have at least one game where they have a reason to just get it super chippy. I think last night that guy walked off the mound kind of fired up. Everything seemed to be directed towards the opposing team's dugout. But I like the pitching matchup here for Texas A&M. I think they're going to roll in there today and find a way to win in Gainesville.
Yeah, Florida, I'll tell you, like in the conference, Florida is definitely on the chippier side. I would probably played for the most chippy team in the conference, but A&M's no choir boys either, so I'm sure that was not a one-sided, out of nowhere kind of thing. But I'm gonna stick with Sully's boys down there and take them today. I think A&M, I just haven't seen the dog in them. I don't know. It's just like every time I see their games or I watch anything, like I want to see they're better than they've been playing, and I think Florida may have just kicked them when they're down, kind of thing, last night. So I'll take Florida today.
Yeah, this one's tough. I'm also going to roll with the Gators today. I just think, obviously, that game was kind of close there late, and Florida was able to bust it open and get a big lead. I just feel like they're coming into this game with a whole lot of momentum. They've had very kind of back and forth, up and down season as far as weekends and dropping their midweeks. Drop that midweek against Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm going with the Gators to roll and take the series today. Harding, who was your pick for this game?
A&M, Aggies.
Okay, the Aggies.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm rolling with
All
them.
right, moving on to our next matchup. We got the Oklahoma Sooners down in Auburn, Alabama. Auburn took game 1 in a 6-4 finish. Great baseball game, clean game. Oklahoma will be throwing Cam Johnson, who's 5-1 with a 3.43 ERA, and Auburn will be throwing Jake Marciano, who is 3-2 with a 1.91 ERA. He's been lights out all year. Who do we got in this game 2 matchup at Plainsman Park?
So yeah, you mentioned the pitching matchup there. I think this one's going to be a pretty good one. It was a close, clean game last night. I have a feeling this one will be low scoring and a clean game again today. I think this is kind of a toss-up game for me, like a coin flip. I did lean towards the Sooners, though, so I think the Sooners will even it up and make for a rubber match tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the home team here, and I do agree with Cole. I think it's a toss-up game. I think they're both good teams, but I'll just take the home team, and I'll take Auburn.
I'm going to side with Auburn as well. I really like this Marciano kid. He threw Fridays for the first half of the season for them, and he's just been very consistent for them. I feel like they got a lot of confidence when he's on the mound, especially when they're at home. So I will also be going with the Auburn Tigers today. And moving on to our mid-major series of the week, we got Missouri State at La Tech. Missouri State is second in the Conference USA. La Tech sitting at 5th, separated by 3 games. So this is kind of, I feel like, a spot for La Tech where it's kind of now or never for them. You want to get in the race, get in the hunt, give yourself a shot to get a good seed in that conference tournament. It's now or never, and that's a team we talked about early, kind of scuffled midway through the year, and seems like they're picking up steam at the right time. So this game 1 is actually, they will be resuming game 1 today. Louisiana Tech is up 7-2 in the 7th. So
8-2 top 7. 8-2 top 7.
Okay, 8-2 in the 7th. This game for our predictions will be game 2. I don't have the pitching matchups. I feel like it could be interesting, especially with the delayed game. So who are you guys going with in game 2, despite of who wins in game 1 in this one?
Yeah, I'm not. This is one where I don't know a ton about either of these teams. La Tech looks like they're going to take game 1, being up 6 runs in the top of the 7th there. I think it'll be interesting. It's always a little tough when you start or you finish a game and then start a new one. But I think I might take La Tech to win both today. That's what I'm – oh, we got a 12 sighting.
Yeah, we got a special 12 appearance. The Trevecca Nazarene Trojans are actually taking on Lee University today. Huge Gulf South Conference matchup. So 12 wanted to come say what's up to you guys this morning.
Merritt Mash, you're the man.
What's up, 12? Man, that's the Lee series. 12 taking on the Lee University.
So the Lee series. 12 taking on Lee.
We got to get a sweep today. Doubleheader sweep today.
Come on.
B2 grinders, doubleheaders every weekend. So you got to get up for it.
Let's go. Love it.
Harding, you're the man.
Yeah, I will be over at that one as well. I might catch, I'm scheduled to potentially catch 25 innings of baseball today. I got a doubleheader at the Jack and then heading over to Vandy tonight.
This guy's eating it up.
It's going to be a baseball full day. I already know my fiance made this trip with me and she is not looking forward to it. So
no, there's nothing better than dragging your fiance to Nashville and telling her she's getting 25 innings in. Yeah. I'll tell you what, my girlfriend's she's looking at me through the window right now at this restaurant as she looks at my pancake. So give me the Bulldogs. I'm taking the Bulldogs. I think I asked, I didn't know anything about this game. So I actually had her pick this and she took them. So I'm going to take the Bulldogs for her, but I think I do like it's hard to come out when you know you're going to win the first game and you're the other team. You know you're going to lose the first game most likely, and then you got to strap it back in 20 minutes, get your Jimmy John's box sub in, try to get the cookie down, mouse a little dry, and then it's first pitch of the second game. It's a little tough, so I'm going to give this one to Louisiana.
Okay, I actually was loving La Tech this morning, but now that I've realized that I think I've taken. Actually, I took Georgia, but I'm taking a lot of home teams. I'm going with Missouri State. That lineup's ridiculous, and maybe this delay will have an effect on both pitching staffs. But I just like the Bears being able to lay their head on the pillow, processing that they're probably going to drop game 1. I have a feeling that Jimmy John sub and that cookie might just light a fire under them. I feel like they're going to be ready to go in game 2. So I'm going.
Literally, I can't eat Jimmy John's anymore because of that. Them double headers, man.
You just gave me a little bit of a jump scare. It was like,
yeah, literally got brought
back when I was leading off. It's like that dry mouth slipping in the box. Like I know I shouldn't eat that cookie, and then you're like strike out and go chug some water or some Gatorade.
Yeah, strike out and you go polish off that bag of chips that's been sitting in there for eight months when they built that box. Boys, I'm going to have to sign off here. I appreciate you having me on. And is there anything I got to pick left?
One more. We got the Bearcats game. West Virginia at Cincinnati. I won't give the preview. We know who you're going with.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Cats, man. Yeah, I'm never going to pick against the Cats. So I like them, man. I think they've been playing good ball, and they won last night, right?
That game will be resuming in the 12th inning, tied right now. So,
oh my God! What time does that start?
3 p.m.
3. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm still taking the Cats.
Oh yeah, love that. Merritt Mash, we appreciate your time. Especially, I didn't know you had an engagement last night, so definitely.
Yeah, neither did I. It kind of came out. Nobody knew about it. It kind of just happened. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you have yourself a Saturday.
Yeah,
appreciate
you guys. See you guys.
No. Say not Merritt Mash getting engaged. All right, well, let's talk about this Bearcats game a little bit.
Yeah, we can dive into it now.
Yeah, crazy game. Let 12 start his car real quick.
You're good. I couldn't really hear it.
Okay, you can't hear that?
No, can't hear that.
Sweet. All right. 5-5 game, 12th inning. We will resume today. So honestly, I feel like game 2, there's just a huge potential for a momentum swing. However, the end of this game 1 goes. Let me show here this very quick clip of the rain delay with this beautiful couple that was willing to wait it out until
all this
downpour in Cincinnati.
You could just show that to Eleni.
Yeah,
downpour in Cincinnati
I mean, that guy, my fiance, I played college baseball, and there is no way in hell I could get her to sit through that rain with me. And I probably wouldn't sit through it either. So I just wanted to tip my cap to those two for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I couldn't agree more. We would have walked into the locker room and saw the text like, hey, I'll be at your apartment waiting for you after the game. It's going to be like one of those. Okay. Yeah. No clue how long I'm going to be here because we might stay here and just sit this rain out. So just make yourself at home back there. And whenever I finish up, I'll get back.
Yeah. So talking about game 1, 4-2, Nate Taylor absolutely shoved. Incredible outing by him. He continues to be lights out at home, especially 4-2. We get it to 4-4 in the 8th. And then Ryan Turansky hits this massive home run in the 8th, which I thought might do it. But before we get into that, let's show that clip.
Gravlin are all out as this ball sent well, right center field. Turansky to the wall. That ball's gone. Turansky with one swing gives Cincinnati the lead right back.
Absolutely fired me up, especially how fired up he was rounding the bases. Obviously, we ended up giving a run back in the 9th, which kept that game tied at 5-5. I know we kind of talked about it last night, this game being delayed or postponed for the finish. I'm not really sure whether that helps us or hurts us. I do feel like their bullpen guy was kind of rolling, so I'm glad that we were able to.
Yeah, he's definitely done. They were mentioning how, like, I think that might have been the most pitches he's thrown in a game.
He was up to like 60 something.
Yeah, he was in the, I think, mid 60s. It was like 63, maybe 65 pitches. But he was rolling. He had that curveball going that we couldn't seem to figure out.
He was just ripping sliders.
Yeah.
But no, I'm definitely glad he is getting out of the game. I honestly have no idea who we're going to throw out there if it gets to the 13th. I know we kind of talked about it. I think Charlie Niehaus is stepping in the box for us right away. Just end this thing. We just need this thing to end in the 12th and move on.
By the way, he's had a good game up to that point. He's seen the ball well. There was a few things. We're going to mention this. I think we should. That's first inning for Nate Taylor. It did look a little iffy, but his ability to settle in. He went first batter, I think it was full count walk. Second guy hits a 2-run homer. And then he walks the 3-hole. So it was looking a little iffy. Then I think he got a double play and maybe a pop-up or another ground ball out and rolled from there. So his ability to bounce back there was huge for the Bearcats.
Yeah, I was getting texts 5 minutes into the game from, I won't name individuals, but I was getting texts, I don't know, saying that some negative stuff about Nate Taylor and the Bearcats. And I kind of just let it sit for a little bit. And then I fired a couple texts back in the 6th or 7th saying like, hey, where are we at now? Like the kid locked in. He's, but also we've been watching him for 3 years now. Definitely an outing where like freshman, sophomore year, he might let that get away from him a little bit. And I've just been very impressed with the maturity, especially in year 3, to kind of get punched in the face right in the beginning of a game and be able to lock in and get your team to the 8th inning with a lead after that was massive. So huge outing from Nate Taylor. Again, they will be resuming that game in the 12th. Talking about game 2 right after that. West Virginia will be throwing Dawson Monteza, who is 3-5 with a 6.16 ERA. And Cincinnati will be throwing Logan Knight, who is 4-3 with a 5.4 ERA, coming off of 2 really, really good starts, by far his best 2 starts of the year. We talked about it in our Bishop Ball show. Definitely feels like there was a little bit of weight lifted off his shoulders after that first start, and he just kind of looked like a different kid last week. A lot more confidence against a good UCF team. Being totally honest, I feel like this one, whoever wins game 1, we talked, there's just a massive opportunity for momentum, and I would not be shocked with whoever wins game 1 kind of coming out rolling and getting the bats going early in game 2.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it even with a couple of games we were talking with Merritt Mash about. When you lose game 1, like on a Friday night, you at least get about 12 hours, maybe not 12 hours, but you get more than 12 hours probably. So think about it, like reset, show up to the ballpark, new day. Yeah. A lot of these games today, they're showing up having to finish game 1. So when you lose game 1, or hopefully we win game 1 here with the opportunity to win it right away. But when you lose game 1, you don't get that time to reset. It's kind of like what Merritt Mash was saying. You scarf down your Jimmy Johns and you just kind of hop into game 2.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you 100%. Whoever wins this game is going to have all the momentum for today. I do have a key to game 2, I think, for the Bearcats is we're going to have to go up early. I think we need to score first. We need to get ourselves a comfortable lead, and then let Logan Knight kind of settle in and do his thing like he has been the last few weeks.
Yeah, because I do think, I respected. I thought UCF is a pretty good team. I think this West Virginia team, and especially the lineup, is better than the Knights. I do think that. The Bearcats, honestly, lineup wise, I think we're up there with anyone in the Big 12. If I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Pitching side is maybe a little just shaky at times, but yeah, I am with you. And like, if this game, we predicted an offensive weekend, right? And I think if we can win game 1, I think 100%. They're throwing a guy with a 6.16 ERA, which totally could be inflated. But I think if you can come out and give Logan Knight a lead, take even more pressure off of his shoulders than he already has done the past 2 weeks, he's not going to have a 7-inning shutout performance. I'll tell you that right now. But I think he's in a better headspace to kind of just compete his ass off in a game if we're in it for 5 to 6 innings. So
yeah, agreed.
You guys know who I'm going with. We are rolling with the Cats.
Yeah, and there's no question.
One time we're bringing the Bearcats on our Saturday morning show, or at least first time of the year, biggest weekend of the year, biggest series in Clifton. I'm going with the Bearcats. I think we have a phenomenal opportunity. We talked about whether this delay either hurt us or helped us. If we can win game 1, it's going to help us, especially from the momentum side of things. So I'm all over the Bearcats today. I think they showed a lot of energy last night. They also responded when the game did get tied up. I don't know. I like their energy and focus right now. Those guys are coming out to play, and they've been ready to go the past few weeks. So I'm rolling with the Cats.
Yeah, it was always the Cats. They look like they belong in this moment. It doesn't look like the game's too big for them or the spotlight's too big for them here. They look like they were ready to go last night. I hope that's the same today. Find a way to win game 1 in the 12th, hopefully without having to roll someone back out there in the 13th. If we could just end it right away, that'd be great. But yeah, I think we take game 1 and then we have all the momentum rolling into game 2. Bats start to heat up, a lot of runs scored, but we take the lead early and find a way to take the series at home, look for a sweep tomorrow. It was always the Cats. It was
always the Cats. I mean, wouldn't this be the hell of a time for the first conference sweep of the year?
It would be amazing.
It would be unbelievable.
I think I am going to try to get down there today.
Hell yeah.
Get my eyes on some Bearcats baseball in person. So
yeah, we need you in there.
Pinch hitter in the bottom of the 12th here. Just let me know. I can show up maybe an hour early. Just need some machine balls, and then I'll be ready to roll.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 2 years now. You're kind of due for a ball off fifth third, just a little taking it the other way, hit the glass, call game, let's go home.
Yeah, just get me out of there. And then I'm going like if that were to happen, I'm going straight back into the stands and ordering a Miller Lite. So
shirtless around the bases, straight up to the Miller Lite stand for game 2. I love it. All right, let's get to our underdog parlay for the day before we wrap this thing up. Corey Klingenbeck's pick for the day, which I do like. I know I picked them as well. The Florida Gators. They are plus 120. Harding, your pick is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They are hosting the Boston College Eagles. They are at plus 115. And then I am going to go with the Kansas Jayhawks. I believe they dropped game 1 last night, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a team who they've been challenged on the road a little bit. And it seems like the past 5 or 6 weeks, like they've lose game 1, they'll find a way to win the series, regardless of where they're at. Now, maybe this is the one time in 6 weeks where they lose a series for sure. Definitely could happen, especially in a rivalry on the road. But I'm rolling with the Jayhawks today at plus 115. I will take that with them as an underdog. So when you put all 3 of those together, you're getting plus 916. Again, the boys are, I believe, 0-10 or 0-11 on the season.
So that's not what we're worried about. We're just worried about the next parlay,
Yeah. We're really dying and itching and scratching and clawing to see one go through the net here soon. So I'm kind of done saying that today's the day. I think I'm just going to let it play out and not get too ahead of myself.
And I even talked about it earlier before we started the show that I was looking through them and I didn't really like any of none of them stood out to me like, ooh, I love this pick. So definitely not confident about today's. Not confident. I don't think today is the day. I'm going to go ahead.
No, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, but if you're feeling a little risky, you want to gamble some money this Saturday, I don't know. Maybe just throw this one out there.
Worth a shot. Worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
Or just fade us.
Yeah, just could go the complete opposite of every pick we chose.
All right. Well, that will wrap up this week's episode. Merritt Mash, our good friend, awesome of him to join. Also, I know he cut his picks a little bit short, but was able to give us some great ball knowledge on Tennessee and the SEC and all of that good stuff. So definitely appreciate his time. You got anything you want to add before we wrap this thing up?
No, go Cats. Hopefully I can make it out there today and see a couple W's.
Yeah, go Bearcats. Hit that like and subscribe button. Cole Harding will be in the building for the Bearcats West Virginia game. I will be in the building for the Texas Longhorns taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores at 7 p.m. tonight. So the boys are getting out there, getting a couple beverages in our system and watching some ball on a Saturday. There's not a whole lot more you could ask for if you ask me. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.